You've previously learned how the different shapes of notes relate to their duration. Each note has an equivalent rest. So we're going to start with the whole rest. The whole rest is going to appear below usually the fourth line in a staff as just a little filled in rectangle. So that is our whole rest. Here you can see how a computer would just make that look a little nicer with that filled in rectangle under the fourth line. The next type of rest we're going to talk about is the half rest. The half rest is going to be a filled in box on top of the third line. So these two look very similar. Trick that you can use to remember it is that the whole rest here looks like a hole, right? If you were walking along the fourth line, a hole in the fourth line. And the half rest looks like a hat, right? Kind of a little bowler hat or a top hat or whatever. And here again is an example of what a digital half rest might look like on that third line. Like before, let's build our rest tree. So we've got our whole rest, which can equate to 2 half rests. All right, let's do a couple rhythm math examples to help reinforce this. We've got a whole rest minus a half rest, and we can see up here that the whole rest equals 2 half rests. So a whole rest minus a half rest would be a half rest. Here we've got half rest plus half rest, and that will equal a whole rest. Our next type of rest is the quarter rest. The quarter rest is created by making a kind of skinny Z lightning bolt shape followed by a C. So here's a fat Z with a C. We kind of want to skinny that out. A Z and then the little C there. There are 2 quarter rests in a half rest and 4 quarter rests in a whole rest. And here's a digital, much nicer looking quarter rest. Back on a rest tree, we can split each of the half rests into 2 quarter rests. Let's do a couple rhythm math examples. Here we've got a quarter rest plus something equals a half rest. We know that there are 2 quarter rests in a half rest, so that must mean that this is a quarter rest. Here we've got a quarter rest plus something plus a half rest equals a whole rest. So our whole rest equals 2 half rests. We can see that up here on our tree. We've got one of the half rests taken care of, so now we're just focusing on this half. And we've got that the half rest equals 2 quarter rests. We see one of the quarter rests down here, so we can fill in the answer is a quarter rest. Our last type of rest we're going to talk about today is the eighth rest. There are 2 eighth rests in a quarter rest. And you can make an eighth rest by kind of drawing a little filled in dot and then making kind of a swoopy 7. Here's a digital version of an eighth rest that looks much nicer. Back on our rhythm tree, we can split each of the quarter rests into an eighth rest. Unlike with eighth notes, there is no way to connect eighth rests at all. They're just by themselves, a dot with a kind of swoopy 7. Let's do a couple rhythm math examples. Here we've got eighth rest plus eighth rest equals what? We can see here that we've got 2 eighth rests and a quarter rest. So we can put the quarter rest there. And in our next example, we've got eighth rest plus eighth rest plus eighth rest plus something equals a half rest. So we've got 1, 2, 3 eighth rests, 1, 2, 3. It can't be a quarter rest because we need more than 2. And if we go out and we add 1 more, we get up to our half rest. So this one's missing an eighth rest. Let's review by filling out a rest tree. We've got our whole rest at the top. Which can split into 2 half rests, which look like hats. Half rest. Each half rest can split into 2 quarter rests made by making a skinny Z with a C on the bottom. That's our quarter rest. And each quarter rest can split into 2 eighth rests, which are created by drawing a little dot and then a kind of swoopy 7 off of that. That's our eighth rest, and here is our rest tree. Thanks for watching.